Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay, back with another video. And in this video, I'll be doing an overview of Batman Killing Time by Tom King, the hardcover. As always, I'll be talking about a little bit of the story, the art, and of course, if it's worth the purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So, let's take a look at front of the dust jacket, the spine, the back. Now, there are two different variant covers. There's obviously the regular cover and the DM cover. The DM is an acronym for direct market, but essentially they are the same story. Anything underneath the dust jacket is the same back, same dust jacket, same content material. The main difference is going to be obviously the cover. I got them both because I got them for a really good price, and personally I like this cover a lot more than this one, but again, I'm just showing you two different covers. Alright, now let's take a look at what's underneath the dust jacket. Oops, put this to the side there. Front of the book, the spine, the back, and we'll do a full spread. Really cool art piece. Alright, now let's take a look at the book. And what is this book about? So essentially the book is about Catwoman, Riddler, Penguin. They join forces to pull off a essentially robbery at a bank. So they work together, they create this plan, and they steal this, as they call it here, a very priceless, a very important box. Now, as the story progresses, Batman arrives and ends up finding out what they actually stole. Now, Batman's on the hunt and trying to retrieve what was stolen. And yeah, that's basically the main gist of the story. Again, it's a really short story. Collects Batman 1 through 6 in terms of Killing Time. So it is a short story, nothing long or anything. And the main gist of the story is pretty straightforward and simple. I'm sure you heard it many times. But there's a twist to the story. And that the person who's narrating this entire book, it's all about time. And the theme is time. That is going to be the theme of the story. And when I say time, I say this. I'll show you guys actually here. It starts off early on in the book. But just to give you an idea what I mean by the theme is time. And this part of the story, Killer Croc is going into the bank, right? At the exact same time, Catwoman is playing tennis with someone. At the exact same time, Commissioner Gordon is sitting in his office getting a call. You see what I'm saying? So that is the main theme of the story, is all about time, because there is a lot of time jumping, and I mean a lot of it. And I gotta say, the first half of the book, let me clarify. The entire book, I really like it. The story is very simple, but the writing, the Tom King, how he writes Batman, is really good and very strong. The pacing is about average to above average. The art is good. Unfortunately, the pages are the matte paper, so you don't really see the colors pop, but the writing is really good, the whole entire book. The issue that I have, well, it's not really an issue, but it's just the time jumping, because the first half of it, the time jumping, it's good and it makes sense. There's one long story and you're getting the perspective of different characters for the same story. That makes sense, and the way Tom King does it, especially the first half, it's smooth, it makes logical sense. I'm into it, and it hooks you in because you see the perspective, like I said, of Catwoman, Riddler, Penguin, Batman, Commissioner Gordon, and what they stole, and it's good. And Tom King does that perfectly. Just the second half, it just gets fucking annoying. And I'm sorry to cursing, but it does, because it time jumps too much, where it's no longer fun. It's just like, dude, chill. Because almost as if Tom King was like, you know what, I like the time jump. You know what, I'm going to crank it up a notch. And he didn't crank it up a notch. He cranked it up the whole entire thing. Because I kid you not, there's parts in the book or the story where Batman is driving in the hunt to get them, to chase them down and retrieve what they stole. I kid you not, the next page or two, it's Catwoman and Riddler, and Riddler's been hurt and he's bleeding out. And then the next page is like ancient times. And he does this so much to where it just gets, like I said, it's really annoying. And that's what bothers me about this book. Because throughout this whole book, the writing is solid. It's really good. And the way he writes in terms of what's in this book, what they actually sold, he does it so well to where you're like, what the fuck's in it? You know what I mean? Very similar to Quentin Tarantino's movie, Pulp Fiction. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie where they're in the diner, and then you don't see what's in the suitcase, but when they open it up, it's like bright light. You can't see what it is, but you want to see what it is. That's what this is here. That's why I feel like it. Because when they showed the box, like, they don't really, you can't see it. They don't see it. But every time someone looks at it and they're like mesmerized and they're shocked, and you as read it, you're like, man, what's in this box? I want to read it. And Tom King does that so well. And with the writing, with the story, does it so well to where you want to keep reading because you want to see what happens. But the time jumping at the second half, it's too much. Too much to where, for me, it annoyed the fuck out of me. Because it's just calm the fuck down, Tom King. You're doing so well the first half of the time jumping. Just chill. But nope, and he keeps going to where it's really, really important that you focus on the time in the second half. To where it's no longer fun. It's just kind of like a chore to read. And what I mean by time, I mean this. For instance, here's an example. You guys can see what I'm referring to. Okay, perfect. So at 5:33, there we go, 5:33 p.m., here, what's her name? Vera hears a knock at the door, right? 3 hours later, Penguin meets with Riddler, Catwoman. Very simple, and by the time you're reading this portion of the story, it'll make sense. And this is what I mean by time jump. The next page after that, and 405 BC, and so forth. At about 2,400 years later, blah, 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 blah. Again, when you're reading this portion of the book, when you get up to this point, it makes logical sense what's going on. Smooth, I dig it. But the second half, it is just too much time jumping. And like I said, one moment, Batman's driving the car. The next, Catwoman's driving the car. What the fuck? And the next page, Catwoman's inside a house fighting someone. Okay, and the next page, Batman is like, wait, what the fuck's going on? And it does connect it though, but to me, it just, by the time you kind of connect everything, it just got really annoying and irritated. And that's where I'm kind of frustrated, because like, why do you have to do it so complicated? Keep the whole time jumping smooth. Keep it simple. Don't try to overdo it. But unfortunately, Tom King overdid it, especially the second half. Again, second half. First half, solid, easy. I like it. Easy to understand, makes sense. Second half is too much. But that's where I'm kind of on this book, and that's how I feel about it. But regardless of the whole time jumping, the writing is good, man. The art is really good, and the whole matte paper quality. Man, this book should have been in the gloss, because the art is fantastic. There's some scenes on here where Catwoman is in a diner and she is just beating the fuck out of people on here, and it's really good. There's another part of the story where Batman is fighting someone, a new villain, and he's getting his ass kicked, but he's really putting up a good fight. And again, the art is fantastic. The pacing of it is good. The story, the main gist of the story, is good and is written well, like I said. But just the time jump is just really frustrating the second half. Like, oh, come on. Now, there's other downside to it is the payoff. Because the way Tom King writes it, like I said, the anticipation of what's inside the box, he does that so well. And when you find out who this mysterious person is and what's in the box, you're kind of like, really? This is it? Like, come on, Tom King. You built all this hype for this. And so I can see why people hated it, because I read some reviews and people were hated it. Some people said, yeah, this is Batman killing your own time, aka the reader's time, because they hated it. So, and I can see that. I can honestly understand where they're coming from, because part of me kind of felt that way, but then I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I really had a good time with this. So overall, though, what would I recommend? Either thumbs up or thumbs down? In my honest opinion, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. Because regardless of what I dislike, in terms of me being frustrated with the whole time jump, especially being annoyed by that, and the payoff, I had a good time with this story. Because the art, like I said, is really, really good. The pacing, it's good. The action moments are really, really good. The time jump in the very beginning, so good that I kid you not, when you first read that first story, it's going to hook you in, just like it did to me. And it's good. But if you can get past that, I think you're going to have a good time. So to me, overall, though, Batman Killing Time by Tom King is a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book? You plan on reading this book? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to the support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So it includes an overview of Batman Killing Time by Tom King hardcover, and on to the next one.